Hello and welcome to a Everquest guide for setting up a 115 Paladin and kind of going over everything. So this might be a long one, I don't know, but this is how I play my Paladin, so you might play your Paladin differently. So first up, let's go over spells and kind of go through that. So I'm using Protest for Honor. So Protest for Honor is I'm going to call it a taunt. So it increases the hatred by 14,000 and then kind of adds a dot to it. So every time you cast it, right, you get, there you go. You get a little bit more. I have rank 2 because it's the group spells go up to rank 2. Raid is rank 3. But if you have rank 1, it doesn't really matter too much difference. It also has a chance to trigger a absorb. So this will absorb 10% melee damage up to 21,000. So take the edge off a hit, right? And if the target is undead, using the focus demand for honor, it will also possibly slow it by 55% and debuff it if it's undead. But it's only a chance to do that. So there's some synergy there. Next I have Fervent Audacity. Now, this could probably be swapped out for whatever, right? You can put whatever you want here. But since the way I play, I really just go into it. I just start hitting my multi-bind button and kill it. And this allows me to tash a mob. So this lowers the magical resistance by 68 fairly quickly. Like, I'm going to take that aggro, and I don't have to worry about the enchanter, having any issues. So the enchanter can kind of just go straight into it. And the other classes too, right? If they have any magic-based spells, they can go into it. But it generates hatred. It lowers the resist. I can't say it's a bad spell, right? If I just cast it on here, right? It puts the buff on here. And then every 6 seconds for a minute and 48, I get more hatred. So it just, I like it. It's a nice spell. After that, I have Crush of the Grotto. So this it's just a nuke, if you will. Does 1,300 damage. It generates 24,000 hatred, or whatever your values are. It's a pretty nice spell, actually. It's just goes on, generates hate. It's low mana, so it's fairly spammable. Next, I have Valiant Deterrence. Now, I'm not sure. This seems like a really good spell. It's high cost. It's 13 to I guess 1,700 mana after reduction, and it's very interesting because it will generate 1,500 hatred, right? And heal me for 14,000. Now, I have this as my fourth item in my multi-bind, and I've had this save my butt quite a few times. The lower level versions of this and stuff, since I believe it's in every other expansion spell. This one's from Claws of Ishan. Next one is Nice as Shadow, I believe. So at 120 we'll get another one, but so far I like it. Now I have Crush of Restless Ice. Now, for a while I was using a different nuke. What was it called? Requiem, I think. Undead. Yeah, I was using Requiem because I was just purely fighting undead, and it's got a little bit more undead, 20% chance to inflict undead trigger on it. It does, 10% less damage, so that's kind of nice. It does 5,200, but this one does 5,900 to or not 59, 6,600 to undead, and generates a bunch of hate. The mana cost is almost the same, so I kind of just, I'll try Crush out and see how it works for me. And this is more of a universal spell, so it'll work on undead and I guess normal creatures. Yeah, 4,900 to normal, 6,600 to undead, and 5,900 to summoned. I still haven't fought any summon, but it's a good spell. I like it so far. What did I have there? Melee guard. All right. Then I have composite force. Now, I do not have this in my multi-bind. I swap it in sometimes, but this spell is a mana hog, 8,000 mana. I currently have almost 200,000 mana, right? If I click it off right now, I mean, that's 5% of my mana, and it's a minute recast. So you can see how I would drain my mana really quick if I spam cast this like I do all my other spells. But this heals the crew for 1,700 or 17,000, and it stuns a target for up to 6 seconds, inspiring hatred. So this is a very nice spell for. I'm using it more situationally, you know, but it's very nice in the fact that I can get a group heal off with it instantly. So the mana is just a little too high for me right now. Maybe when I get to COV tier 3 armor, it might be a little better. My armor is not that great right now. Let's see here. Burst of Awakening. This is just a self heal that heals the target. This is my oh crap heal. I swap that out for the wave heal, which is wave of propagation. So I swap that in there sometimes. Like on the Gricklore mission, I'll swap this in to just have a little bit extra healing AE, just in case like one of my boxes gets hit or something. Then I have a propagation, the single target heal. This one heals variable amount all the way up to 20,000. So depending on where I'm at, I usually don't hit my heal button until about 50 to 20%. So anywhere between there. So definitely getting the maximum if the lower you go, but it seems to be pretty good. And it's almost instant cast, so it's nice. Then I have Splash. So I love Splash. Splash is a nice spell. It's a targeted AoE, so I don't have it in like a multi-bind or anything. Unlike the Shamans get a targeted AoE heal like this, but this one does cures. So this is really good in the fact that I can cure just about everything. I cannot cure. Maybe at rank 2, I can cure. I can cure the curse, the Restless Ice, all 60 counters. But this leaves a little bit left, so it's a little. It's it just goes down. Fairly quick cast, but it is what it is. Honestly, it's a nice spell. Heals for 3,500, so got that in there. Is that the right one? Yeah, it's 113. And then Protective Consecration. So I started using this at the, I think the 110 version of this. So I wasn't really sold on it in the last video, but now I am. I am definitely sold on this. Like if we can cast it on ourselves, right? And what I like to do is I like to do this. I like to pull, like say I'm pulling this guy right here. And then when I'm in position, right, say I want the mob. Come on. It's starting to lag. If I leave the game open too long, it starts to lag for some reason. If I position myself like right here and I'm waiting for the mob to get to me, what I'll do is I will then do Protective Consecration. And it will give me this nice ward, which 1, heals me. 2, protects a 50% melee ward on me. Will last for, I believe, 2 minutes, right? Yeah, 2-minute timer. 2 minutes, 1 second. So there's a AA that fixes it. It absorbs up to 79,000. It's not a whole lot, right? It's not, gonna change the world, but it adds up. It's, just another tool in our arsenal. And I usually I do it on pull, right? I pull this guy, right? And then while I'm waiting for him, I just cast it, since whatever I pulled is going to have me as the target, so then it'll do me. And the range doesn't matter because it's healing myself, right? I mean, it's casting it on myself. So I do a lot of grinding in the the worm caves in Great Divide. I just you know, I pull a worm. I go to my campfire. I position myself, and then I hit that, and you know, it's good to go. Next, I have Confluent Blessing. Now, this one's interesting. This is like, I didn't understand how great this was at first. So in previous video, I might have played this down, but so this places a blessing on you, which causes you to automatically attempt to stun your target with this spell. We'll read down here in a second. And heal your group with Confluent Light. This spell. Whenever another caster heals you between 106 and 120 spells land on you, right? So every time I get healed, there's a chance for this to go off, right? Now you get 40 charges. It does not last very long. Let me click this again. It's got a 4-minute duration, right? So let's read these real quick. So this will stun, the stun will stun up to a level 120 for 3 seconds, imparts a additional 8,000 hatred to you, and then reflects Confluent Light onto the group, which group heals for 6,900. Now you're like, what? That sounds really nice. And it is really nice. Because the way I play my shaman, who heals me, all she does is heal. Like every like where's my guy? He's over there. All right, so let's just do 4. Let's just start hitting 4 here, right? It's just everything she does is a heal. And if we go back over here, I don't think we can see the triggers because there's no there's no target to target. So it's very situational in that sense, but it's definitely nice because I'll be healing myself while I'm running back, right? And it will stun the mob on pull, and it's pretty cool. It sounds annoying, right? But in all honesty, it has saved my life because if I get like multiple mobs, they're all gonna get stunned. They're all gonna get stunned, or you know, the one I'm targeting is gonna get stunned, right? And that's, you know, saved me from getting killed, right? So yeah, but good spell. I like it. Preservation of the Grotto. Now, druids get the reptile skill, which these do not stack. Now, I was going back and forth on which one I wanted to do, right? Do I want to offset it, you know, to the druid and have the druid cast it on me and free up a spell slot for something else? Or do I just want to do it for myself? And I started reading this skill, you know, and it's better than reptile for me. Reptile would be good for a shadow knight or a warrior, but for me as a paladin, I'm getting, you know, strength. I'm getting 38 armor class, and I'm getting 15% extra hatred for everything I do. Plus, I get, you know, 3,500 hit heal, and then it heals me for 27 over time. Now, if we go over to the druid, now this is a 120 druid, so we'll get the lower level one. Combat initiates, so 114. So she has defense of the reptile, rank 2. So it heals for 5,200 and does 41 overtime, right? So it also gives 7 armor class and 59 attack power. So if you think about it, I'm getting more armor and I'm getting more hatred. So for a paladin, this is the spell, right? I don't think I would want to use it. I mean, it's a little bit more healing, right? It's 35 to 5,200. But in all actuality, I don't think it matters. And last I checked, they don't stack. Let me see if I'm wrong here. Where is he? Don't believe they stack. So if I go here, it overwrites mine. So we can kind of see the effects there. I don't know. I guess it also lowers the attacker's attack power. Oh wait, hold on. Am I totally drunk and I'm reading this wrong? Okay, so this does not give armor class. So this lowers the target's armor class and attack power. It does not give you that stuff. Never mind. I misread that. So I'm gonna go with Preservation of the Grotto as a paladin. Just that's like, I don't need the extra healing. I don't need it right now. Shadow Knights, they're gonna need it because, you know, they're Shadow Knights and they're gonna need that extra oomph. And then last spell here, Stormwall Stance, rank 2, gives me an extra 36,000 hit points, and that puts me at about 3,400 or 342,000 hit points, fully buffed with I think everything. I can't think of anything I'm missing right now. All right, so that's the spells I use, and I kind of just I don't really change it up. You know, there's like situationals, I'll use the more undead nukes and stuff, but in all honesty, I just leave it the same because I do run into mixed encounters sometimes. So hotbars, we'll kind of go into that here now. I want to kind of go over my extended target, and I've changed it since my last video. I've changed how I do it because I've started, you know, flexing the group from 3 to 6, you know, 3 to 5, you know, just depending on what classes I want to play for certain encounters and stuff. Like I try to bring all 6 into Gricklore when I do that, so I get more tokens, you know. So it's it's just a matter of how I want to do it. If I'm questing, I don't bother doing progression on, like, say I have Tawani in my group, right? She's doing her own progression. I don't do the progression on her, so I drop her. But when I do the missions, I bring her in because she can't solo the missions. She can't group the missions unless there's a tank. It's just not going to work for her. So kind of like that. Consider getting a task ad and you're getting just buying it, but I'm doing it myself, right? So I have my group 1 through 6 up here. Previously I had the assist target right after that. I changed that because since I'm flexing the group, right, these extra slots, when I switch from like a 3x, 4x, 5x, and 6x, I just take out the characters and with empty slots, right? You can do empty target like that, and I just replace what's not there with an empty target. And then everything from here down, so from 7 to 18, those are the extended targets that are on my hate list that are the opportunity to be mezzed, right, by my enchanter. All my characters have the same layout. I have the tank at X target 20, and then I have my assist target, so whatever I'm targeting will go there. And that goes across all the characters. They all see the exact same extended target window, so I don't have to think or do certain assisting. They just know the go X target 19 is what they need to kill when I hit the multi-bind button. That just multi-binds their skills and just everything. So you can see how like all these hotbars are all bound to 4, right? But since this UI is so forgiving, you can dual multi-bind. So what I've done, I multi-bind everything to 4 and 5, right? So if I hit 4, it's the same as me hitting 5. It's the same thing. Now, why would I do that? Why would you want to do that, right? I'm gonna pop into my enchanter real quick. So my enchanter only has 5. So if I'm spamming 4, the enchanter is not going to do anything. So the enchanter can debuff. That's, you know, slow and do that kind of stuff. The enchanter can also mez because while I'm spamming 4, the enchanter's not doing anything. So she's free to do whatever. The healer, she has 4 and 5 bound. So if I'm spamming 4, I'm still getting heals. And if when I switch to 5, that engages the mage who has his on 5 and the enchanter who's on 5. So like at this point, the enchanter has mezzed, slowed, whatever needs to be done, and then I engage everybody else, and everybody else is kind of bound the same way. So just a little short explanation of how that I'm doing that to kind of optimize that. So now that means in theory that my DPS will not engage the target until the enchanter is done, so the crowd control and all that's done. But I made a change to that, so the mage gets mallow. So the mage, when he debuffs, the first thing he does, he sends his pet in. His pet is like 45% of his damage anyway, so get the pet in there immediately, right? Same thing with the enchanter, I believe. Well, I guess pet's attack's not in there, but pet attack, it's in there now. It's the pets will start attacking while they're debuffing, and that's the damage gets started, right? And the druid, she's a very special case. So that's when we go to the druid video, we'll talk about how I have that one set up. But it's pretty much that's how it's like what's going on there. So my first button, hide corpse. This just gets rid of all the corpses. Like it takes a little while since I don't do loot on the other characters. They don't automatically start rolling right away unless I go over there and tell them no or tell them to roll on stuff. So this way, only holder rolls, so this hides the corpse until it's done rolling. I also have DOA 4, which is my forage button. I'm always foraging. I don't know why. I always am. It just fills up my bags with junk. My first one, I have a spam button. Now, sometimes I just want to taunt and get aggro of a mob and turn attack on. I don't want to do all the other stuff. I don't want to start stunning. I just want to do that. So no one else has anything bound to 2. So I can just walk over to the mob, hit 2. My attack goes on. I do demand for honor or protest for honor, I guess now. And then I just melee. That's it. Simple. Sometimes I don't want to do a lot of damage. Sometimes I just want to hold a target. Right. I got thwart. So thwart is a what's the best word for this? This is a 2-hit defensive. So it lowers the damage done by 90% for 12 seconds for up to 6,400 damage. Now it says 2-hit attacks, but when you click it on, we actually get more. Now where is it? Right here, 5. We get 5 hits. So 5 hits. That is because we have enduring reproval, right? So this will just give us 3 extra, and it lasts a little longer. I think 6 seconds. So the next rank's at 118. So definitely, definitely want to have that in my rotation. And in fact, it is in my multi-bind. So I hit it on cooldown. Now I have a reminder that my spam button is 4, and I have a second reminder that 5 is my spam button. So my multi-bind is Protest for Honor, Fervent Audacity, Crush of the Grotto, Valiant Deterrent, and then I have an empty spot here so I can bring in Composite if I want to use that. Crush Restless Ice. Disruptive Persecution, which is an AA that activates Knight's Yelp. And for Knight's Yelp, now for the longest time, I didn't even notice this. like we got Knight's Yelp a while back, right? And for a few of the videos, I totally did not realize, because there's so many buffs, right? I didn't even realize I didn't even have it on, right? If we click this right here, we should get here Knight's Yelp. So Knight's Yelp is pretty cool. It is increases our attack by 290, gives us 30% attack speed, which I guess is cool if you're soloing, but gives us 100 points of mana regeneration, which gives us about 839 right now in the current gear. And then it also triggers our melee attacks, our chance to trigger our melee weapons by 50% extra, which is when I'm using sword and board, it's a shield, or it's a rune. And then when I'm using two-hander, I think I'm using this one right now, it's a huge nuke. So I'll cover all the weapons. Like I have all the rage weapons. Plus the ones I'm wearing are the group ones. So we'll talk about all that here in a minute. Now this is blocked by, let me see if I can find the window for this. Now, if you have block buffs, here we go. I have a bunch of block buffs. So if we look at this, where is it? Spiritual Vigor. Yeah, this is the Beast Lord. This is, I think, the level 121. This is the Beast Lord attack buff. Increases hit points. Now, that doesn't stack with Brel's, 1. And 2, it doesn't stack with ITL. So I blocked it on me because I want the 100 points of mana regen, 1. And 2, I have Brel's, which gives me slightly more HP, I believe. This one's the 114 one, but the 121 gives even more. I mean, 7,000 HP versus 4,700 HP, and this is the 120 buff. So yeah, so you do have to block Spiritual Vigor, and you're probably going to want to block, I think, this one here too, Strength of the Dusk Sage Stalker. I can't remember what this one didn't stack with, but I think it was Knight's Yelp also. So you gotta block that one, and then that's just me blocking the all the different annoying spells, illusions and stuff. But yeah, so that triggers, like, what is this one? Disruptive Persecution's the one I picked with. You get a choice. I honestly, this is another thing I didn't notice early on either. These all share the same timer. I just thought the multi-bind was triggering them all at once, but apparently they not. So you get a choice between Divine Stun, which knocks your target backwards. I don't like that. Force Disruption, which increases your hatred and interrupts your spell casting. With a resist modifier, and stuns them, right? And Disruptive Persecution does, 30,000 damage, increase the hatred, and interrupts their thing. So I went with that one. I mean, Force of Disruption would probably also be a good one. It does more hatred. But I'm already kind of tapped for DPS, so a little bit extra doesn't really hurt for me, I guess. They have the same timer, same reuse time, same whatever. So it's your choice between these. You pick whatever one you want, but that's the one I picked. Divine Call is a pull spell. It has, I mean, the reuse time on it's 45 seconds. So for me, that's too long for me to use it for pulling. I just use Protest Honor to pull. But this Divine Call is really nice for positioning mobs. I can't really demonstrate it here, but if you cast it, it makes this mob run straight towards me as fast as it can. And that makes it a little easier. Like when I boxed Tawani, and I have like a campfire. Like, here, let me do this real quick. Let me put my campfire down as a point of reference. There we go. So I typically have like my Tawani standing right here, so she's at the campfire, and then when I pull like this over the campfire, so I can stand, like around, depending on the mob size, right about here or here. And when I start the multi-bind, pushing all the buttons, right, she will just start attacking, and typically the mob is right here. If it's like right here, I can then use Divine Call to pull it closer and position it a little bit better. And it usually works out. Like 99% of the time it works out pretty well. I've been fighting a lot of worms, so they have a larger hitbox. So it's a little bit trickier to do it, but it's a pretty neat spell. Then I have Reflexive Reverence, which heightens your reflexes, allow you to strike your target 3 times. I don't think I got an upgrade to this. This is what is this, a timer 19? Oh, it looks like there was. There it is. So this is what we should actually be casting. Why do I not have the right one there? There we go. Always find something new when you do the video, right? So your height and reflexes allow you to strike the target with 3 two-handed slashing base attack damage of 1300 damage and place redemptive reflection on the group. So it's a nice little heal. Heals the group for 59,000 every 10 minutes. So that's pretty cool. I think I had like I've had an issue where my UI does not save. So I'll change buttons around and I'll camp out and I'll come back and they don't save. So I feel like I've already done that spell, but because especially it's 111, so I feel like I would have already done that one. Maybe I just missed it, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. I wouldn't even notice the healing. Then we have righteous and antipathy. I don't know. Adds a chance for melee attacks to be filled with righteous anger, adding additional two-handed slashing attack with a base damage of 838, and then just does damage. So it gives you an extra damage for every hit. I just put it in there. Like I would say these 10-minute cooldowns are probably more in line with a burn kind of thing, but I just do them on cooldown. It's just no point saving. Like when I'm doing a burn, I'm in turtle mode. Like it's usually that, you know, he's in turtle, everybody else is glass cannon. Is kind of the way I kind of think of it like that. Because if he dies, they all die. That's pretty much what happens. Unless I can get to the druid screen to evac really quick. Thwart, I just said that's the same spell we already talked about. It's in there. Spam, just taunt. This is the only way I access the taunt, and then it does another cast on Protest for Honor, and it turns attack on, so that's kind of nice. Ageless Enmity. This is a taunt. 12,000 points of hatred. I do it on cooldown. 3-minute reuse. I just do it on cooldown. Vanquish the Fallen is an undead only nuke, so it's in the multi-bind, but it only triggers on undead, so I can spam the button all day long. It just skips over it. Does 112,000 damage. Next is 150,000. Jeez. So definitely a nice little spell to have in there. It's I think I've seen million crits on it from undead, so definitely nice to have. So that is all of my main hotbar here. No, wait, that was the multi-bind. I'm sorry. My burn is Valorous Rage. Valorous Rage is just, I think, extra damage, really. I think all these are just extra damage, so pretty much, yeah. Increases my melee damage. Increases my melee crit, right? Judgment, right here. Same thing. Does adds a proc, does more damage. You get 30 charges of this, 17,000 or 60,000 undead plus hatred. I mean, it's just crazy. See our armor. See here, this one just makes it so when I get healed for more. And then Spire, which is just like the best spell, does everything. Increases our health, increases our strength, blesses everybody in the everybody around, increases the effectiveness of heals. Minimum damage goes up, avoidance goes up, parry goes up, armor class goes up. It's just all around great. And then I also pop projection. I don't think I have that on here anymore. Or is that a projection? Is it on this one? Where is it? I know it's not called projection. It's called something else. It's just a matter of finding it. It summons little pets that may or may not be useful. I haven't decided yet. I can't find it. Oh my gosh. Maybe it's not sorted right. Anyway, it summons little pets that taunt the target, and Protection and Piety, here it is. So I don't have it fully updated, so mine only does the level 110. I'm hoping to see how this works at 115. The mage gets the same kind of spell where it summons little pets that taunt the target. And they're actually kind of badass. Like, they take some hits from a named and they don't die instantly. These ones die instantly. So I don't know. I proc them all at the same time, because usually when I'm fighting a named, it's challenging for me. So if I'm taking the heat off myself, it works really well. So it is what it is. It's in my burn. Group armor. So if we go back over here, we got group armor of the same thing. Adds, increases armor class of everybody in the group, and increases the functionality, the effectiveness of incoming heals. So everybody gets it, but I only heal Holdridge. I don't heal anybody else directly. Thunder of Karana. It's that one right here. Thunder Karana increases the base damage of your spells. It kind of makes it like I'm a wizard. That's really what this boils down to. Turn me into an undead wizard if I wanted to be. I just use it. It doesn't really do anything that I would notice typically. And then I have use item 17, which is the breastplate, which will trigger Soothing Zeal, which will heal me every time I'm hit for 12,000, which is pretty nice. And then Blood Drinker's Coating, which is, where is that? Blood Drinker's Coating is a clicky item that gives me a 2% chance, or 2% of my melee damage heals me. So it's like a life tap, if you will. Now, typically when I'm burning, I'm using a sword and board, so it's not huge damage, right? I think you would see this being better used on like a paladin, not a paladin, a shadow knight, right? Because they're gonna probably be tanking with a two-hander because they can life tap everything, right? So I don't know, it just depends. That's so weird that window stayed. Oh my god, did it bug? It looks like the casting window bug. There we go, it goes away. All right. So that is burn 2. Burn 3, I have intensity of the resolute. It's just another, I think it's a 20%. No, this one's actually 55% melee damage increase and a critical increase. Definitely a nice little spell. It's a veteran reward. Everybody should have it at this point though. And it's more damage. What I do is I do 7, and then about midway I do 2, and then towards the last 30-40% I hit 3. So depending on what I'm fighting, it just depends on how fast it's dying. Then I have a reminder to sit for my other characters, right? I hit 0, everybody else will sit, the way I have them configured through IS Boxer. Balefire Burst is just our evade, runaway spell. I use this when pulling. Like if I pull one and then something spawns on me, I'll evade one off. This kind of thing just saves me sometimes. Like I cannot fully, like I'm typically running around two-hander, right? When I'm doing AAs and grinding, so I can't really tank 2 most of the time with a two-hander at this point in time. Maybe later, like, I mean, if you look at this, right? So that is 6,000 AC. If I put on, here, let's just use this one because this is what I use. This is 7,300 AC. If we go, this is which is this one? This is the COV raid one-hander and two-hander, right? Almost 7,500, almost 8,000 AC with our current buffs. Like insane damage and stuff. Where is my? And then this is the TOV tier 3 group armor. So It's about a 400 AC difference between those two. It's pretty crazy. So, and considering, like, you know what, I'm at 71 here when it's almost 1,000 AC loss when I put on a two-hander, especially even the raid two-hander. Keep that in mind. That was the TOV Torment of Elias raid weapon drops me down 1,000. If I put on the COV raid two-hander, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't really change. It just doesn't change at all, does it? It's like 30 AC. Not a whole lot. And if we drop down to the Burning Lands raid weapon, it's still not a big difference AC-wise, right? So, just something to keep in mind when you're looking for weapons. You're gonna want to have both a two-hander and a one-handed sword and board. All right, so here, and then so I use my mouse to control most of my stuff. Numpad 1 on my mouse is my num 1, so that's just my pull button, which is Protest for Honor, and then 2 I have concentration. So as soon as I pull and I'm back in camp, I'm like sitting at the campfire right here. I just go boom. Oh, well, it's got a delay. I just go like that, and then I'm ready to go. I don't even have to switch targets. It's just good to go. And then throughout the combat, if this needs to be refreshed, I'll refresh the three short-term buffs. Then I have a reminder that numpad 3 is debuffs, so my mage and enchanter and druid will all do debuffs. The shaman has debuffs also, but typically she does not get to do any debuffing because she's busy healing. Because I have her healing on 4 and 5, so I'm spamming 4 while all this is going on. So, now this button, actually, I don't think I have this anymore. Yeah, she doesn't have it anymore. The druid has it still. So it's a reminder to heal X target 20. So it's mostly for the druid, I guess, at this point. The shaman by default is always multi-bind healing me. So as I spam 4 and 5, she will heal only me and only me, right? Doesn't mean that no one else will get heals because she does the group buffs, the group heals, right? And so does the druid. The druid's always doing the group heals. So there's group heals going out that'll, you know, deal with splash damage. The paladin also has wave of propagation. So I'll, you know, if someone needs a heal, I can throw that out. You know, it's pretty quick, fast. And it'll hit, you know, get everybody, but it just depends on the situation. Typically, no one takes damage. The only time someone takes aggro is if it's the first time something's aggroing on us and we're like walking by a mob and it attacks one of them. That's the only time. If I pull a mob, I've never lost it. I've never lost a mob. Even, you know, just not even trying. I like having the mage. Just like, I'm just spamming the mage's nukes as fast as I can, doing as much damage. In a full burn, I've never lost a mob. So, you know, that's, you know, to me, that's pretty good. And then I have a self-heal button. So this casts 7, which is the wave, or the other heal that I had in there, burst of whatever. It just bursts to something every level, right? And then propagation, which is the self-heal. And then Shield Flash. Now, Shield Flash is right here too. Shield Flash is a nice little thing. I like this spell. It has saved my life more than you could possibly imagine. So this will, you know, consumes mana and endurance, but it allows you to block all incoming attacks for 6 seconds. Now you're like, 6 seconds? That's not very long. 6 seconds is a lifetime. 6 seconds is 1 full server tick. Now, in a server tick, can you imagine how much how much healing is coming from a shaman in a single server tick, right? A lot. Because, like, I use a shaman for healing, right? So every tick I get 9,000 health there. Spiritual Squall, another 4,000. Reckless, 17,000. 14,000. I can probably get 2 or 3 of those spells out in a single server tick and completely full heal myself. She is also twin casting heals with her frost gift, so I stay almost full life and overhealed it most times. But if I pull multiples, that's when I drop. That she's still 110, so she doesn't have that the new spells to kind of get me up there quicker. But shield flash stops all damage for a second, right? All melee damage just stops. I get a tick, and then I'm good to go. And at the same time I'm doing that, I'm also healing myself with those other 2 spells, so it all adds up to success. And then I have reminders for my mezzing. I think they're mislabeled, I think, right now. This should be 7 and that one should be 8, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna mez that one first, and then that one. The target we're fighting is right down here. So then I have AoE mez, just a reminder that hotkey is used for AoE mez on the enchanter. Tranquil and mass group buff, that's just if I'm in guild lobby and I want to give everybody and their mom Brells, I click that and everybody gets Brells. You don't see that buff very often, I'll tell you that. Alright, I have a follow macro, but it's mostly just a placeholder. Hides the corpse. I play from the Paladin. Everybody else is key repetition and multi-binds. I use no automation, so everything I do has to be a key press. So then I have my anchors. They'll teleport me back here to my guild hall. I have my campfire, which will teleport me back to my fellowship. And then I have my drunkard stein, which will tell me to the bar in Plane of Knowledge, and Throne of Heroes, which takes me to guild lobby. And guild lobby is kind of my AFK point. I don't AFK in the guild hall, because after 24 hours the instant shuts down. I AFK in guild lobby, where all the buffs go, and that's where I buff. I have all these characters. I think these are all me. So I have 10 characters online right now. All the 120s are on a different computer, and they are all 100% buffing. Every time I die, I buff everybody in guild lobby. It's almost a joke, honestly. And then I have reminders for healing X target 1, 2, 3, 4, and the druid has those, and the shaman has those. So I need to add 5 and 6 in there, but I haven't. I don't typically go out of my way to heal anybody else, because they don't take damage. There's only rare cases where the enchanter gets some kind of weird aggro lock on her, but with all the runes and stuff she has, she never dies. So and then so I do shift numpad 5, that's my splash hotkey, and then shift numpad 6 for composite. So kind of works for me. I might put some other keys on the other characters at the same time, but it's just a good spot for me with those. Summon agent, probably don't even need that anymore. Permutation peddler, don't need that anymore. Banker, don't need that. Just wasted key slots. And the rest of this is all the multi-binds. You want to do your lesson every day. I do mine every morning. I use it's 100% extra experience for 30 minutes, and I get about 100 AA, maybe a little more every time I do it. I just literally sit there and grind sometimes. So I've grinded, I think, what is that, 800 AA since 110 maybe? I don't know. It's a lot. I still got a lot to go. And then I have Bandolier for one hand and two hands. So typically when I'm playing, I'm two-handed. Because I can take a single mob, no problem, one-hander in tier 1. Tier 2, I use a sword and board. Multiple mobs, I do sword and board. Named, I typically just go sword and board. Now, Gricklor, I can deal with a two-hander because for some reason he's not strong. He just has dumb mechanics. So sometimes I can get away with it, and with the amount of healing I have coming in, it usually is perfectly fine. His ads are light blue too, so they don't really do much damage. Then we have defensive abilities that I use. So Mantle of the Sapphire Cohort, rank 2. So this is a mini defensive. This will absorb 35% of incoming melee damage for 1 minute. And then it will absorb 2.3 million damage and heal me also. So this is a nice... I typically throw this on multiples or names. So if I'm pulling a named, like as I'm doing this, you know, I'm getting it to the fight spot where the campfire is, right? You know, I'll pop protective, and then I'll click mantle, right? And then for a minute, I am doing pretty well defensive wise, right? Pretty well. What is Night Synergy? Oh, and that triggered Night Synergy, which also gives me 1200 point absorb. I think that was from Thwart, right? As Thwart does that one, right? Check real quick. Night Synergy. I might have skipped that. I will probably go over in the A. Yeah, Thwart does that. So every time you thwart, you get this bonus also, which is 6 hits up to 1200 damage, or 12,000 damage. So, but you know, I do that defensive. If I'm still fighting the mob, you know, and it takes longer than a minute to kill, it's probably a named. And typically, so like it depends on the type of named, right? Like dragons, like the ones in Eastern Waste, the two names there, like I can typically just let it fade off, and if I don't need to use another one. Giants, I do. For some reason, they hit harder. The named goat guy, typically I can just tank him without anything. And the named worm in the worm caves, typically I only use it for the, you know, getting in with the pull, right? And positioning, and then once it's slowed, I don't really care. Like it's the giants seem to hit the hardest. I don't know. But if that wears off and I need it, I use Armor of Sincerity, which kind of is the same thing. Increases my armor strength by 263. I think that gives me armor class. Absorbs 20% of incoming damage for 2 minutes. When struck, gives a chance to stun the target for 1 second, dealing 2900 damage to them, and adding additional 25 hatred and healing you for 42. So this one works pretty good. It does up to 1.0 million before it fades. So that's a good one. But my favorite one is Blessed Guardian Discipline. Now you'll see that this is 107. We haven't gotten an upgrade yet. And am I dumb actually? did I get an upgrade? I just missed it. No, I didn't get one. So I use this one all the time because it doesn't have the same kind of caps. Now they changed it from Holy Discipline, right? This one was just reduced 36%, you know, for 2 minutes, right? No caps, no nothing. But then they changed it. So this one reduces your melee damage, like how much damage you do, but it also reduces the damage you take by 36% for 2 minutes. Now, I don't know. I like this one because it just, I feel like I'll never die. And my melee damage is already shit, so it really doesn't matter. Like, I feel like I'll just never die with this one on, right? And this gives you even more, like when you block, I didn't even know it did this. When you block, bash, or riposte, you get 6,500 hit points back. So, yeah. It's just, this one feels really overpowered for what it is. It's very, I mean, it lowers my damage, but my damage doesn't matter. Like, I'm holding aggro with pure aggro. I'm not holding aggro with damage, so it's just something to think about there. What is this? Protection of piety. There it is. Looking all over for this. It's dumb. I'm not even gonna put it on my bar anymore. I don't like it. I need to level it up, obviously, but it is what it is. So, Hallowed Lodestar, Heroic Leap, and Beacon of the Righteous are our AoE taunts. So, Hallowed, 8 opponents, stuns them all, stunning 115 or lower for 1 second, increase the hatred by 15,000, and then by 7,000 every 6 seconds. Heroic Leap, it's actually kind of cool. I love this spell. It's fun to do. I don't do it as much anymore because I can randomly get dumb mobs, but if I Heroic Leap, it jumps me right to it. I think it says 10 feet, so, you know, however far it'll put you there. But if you do it in melee range, it like just jumps you up and jumps you right back where you were. So everybody in that range, I guess 40-foot range, it's pretty big actually. This is a one-time 7,500 hate. Pretty good. And then Beacon of the Righteous consumes everybody in a 30-foot range. You know, stuns over 3 seconds. Increases hatred by 18,000, then by 9,000 every 6 seconds. This is great. If you know that there's nothing around you that's gonna get aggroed. Otherwise, you're gonna be fighting that too. The 30-foot range. Like, if I'm right here, it's probably going to hit that guy, right? That one didn't hit him. Yeah. Hallowed did, though. So, keep that in mind when you use these things. Like, if you're fighting here, and this guy is like a non-aggressive, just doing his own thing mob, and you do that, you will pull him into your group. And then I just have a button that pretty much does all of those abilities at once to really like save the day if I need to. It's like my panic button, really. Then I have Gift of Resurrection. This is just like my battle res. I can res people during combat. I don't have the staff or whatever, the Staff of Forbidden Rites. I have not done the Nagafin and Vox raids from, I think it was like the monster missions. So I haven't done those. Those are like actual raids. You can't just box in and go one shot them. So then I have Lay Hands, which is a massive heal. Heals me. So if I'm taking this guy, it'll heal his target, which is me, right? Or if he's beating on somebody else, it'll heal them. Or I can target somebody and heal them, right? And it heals for quite a bit. 180,000. Then 2,600 over every 6 seconds for how long? 36 seconds. And then a chance to be healed for 100,000. Jeez, it just goes on and on. Next rank is 200,000. So it's pretty nice. Hand of Piety is a group heal. Everybody gets a heal. I typically just start spamming these if I'm getting killed. And it usually just saves my life. And then Gift of Life instantly critical heals all allies in a 400-foot radius for 60,000. This is kind of like the everybody's dying and I can just bring them all back to life instantly kind of thing. And then Mars Gift. So I like this spell because it gives me back 35,000 mana and 9,000 endurance. So if you watch any of my videos, you know I don't stop. I'm constantly pulling, constantly killing. I don't stop, and I never med. I never stop to med. I have my boxes on mounts so that they can get mana as fast as they can. My druids are pretty much out of mana for the most time. The only I have to stop, and that the only reason I would stop is to get her mana. Right, but this just lets me keep going. It's like a mod rod. It's just extra mana every 10 minutes. It's pretty nice. Then I just have a clicky for the Blood Drinkers vampire thing. Clicky for the breastplate, which does the 12,000 point heal. Clicky for the mod rod. It's whatever mod rod that my mage can summon. So I can just click that on the go. And then I have Blessing of Purification, Radiant Cure, and Purification. Purification only cures me, and it'll get rid of like just about anything on me. Blessing and Purification does the entire group, and it get most things. And then Radiant Cure will cure most things with counters, like poison, disease, and curses. It gets a lot of them. It doesn't get Restless Ice in one shot, because you need the next rank to do that. And for some reason, they didn't give it to Paladins, only Druids and Priests. So, alright. And then I got Shackles of Tunar, which is a root. I have never had it work. Beyond where I play, I'll try like a root pull, right? You like, I want to root this guy, and I want him to, you know, this guy to come, right? I've never had the root actually work. I don't know. Like, it always gets resisted, or it just doesn't work. Or the mercenary, like when I was running DPS mercenaries or caster mercenaries, would just attack that target and mess it all up. So it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Halt the Dead is an undead snare. Never use it. If it was an instant cast, I might use it, but it's every 30 seconds. So then I just have a shield flash button here, just in case I need to hit shield flash really quick. And then I have a macro for aura. So I use Blessed Aura still. I don't know. I don't even know if it's still useful. It increases like the effectiveness of heals on me. I spent a while researching it to see if people use it. It seems like a mixed bag if people use it at 120 from what I could see, but the macro here is very specific. Obviously, it pauses for 5 seconds. Does the command mim spell slot 10, so it replaces my protective concentration with Blessed Aura. Pauses or casts 10, casts that spell, the Blessed Aura. Pauses for another 10 for it to finish, and then changes back to my tanking spell set. So let's do Browse. It's the exact same thing. It just does Browse Blessed Barrier. So click it. Instantly memorizes the spell in spell slot 10. Waits a second, casts it, and then switches back to the other spell slot. There we go. And I guess I had burst there. I think I switched it out while we were talking. And then Divine Aura. Now, I think in the last few videos I've been like, oh, this is dumb. I never use it. I never use it. I never use it. I use it all the time now. Especially when pulling named. Like, some of these names have these abilities that blind you, like the worm in Great Divide. There's a named in Great Divide that also roots you when he pulls you, and then he does more damage to you while you're rooted. Now, if you're not close to your group, you're dead. Like, I haven't figured out a way out of that. Like, even clicking all my stuff, I still die. This saves my life. So this gets me, like, I can pull the named because it stays on me. It doesn't attack anybody else yet. I can get in the group, right? Once I'm in group, I can then start debuffing. And I typically have my mage's pet with taunt on. So my mage pet will taunt the mob while they're debuffing it while I'm still invulnerable. So it's a nice little thing. Like, the mage pet won't die. I've never had a mage pet die in melee. Jinx. Like, it's gonna happen, but typically, like, he stays alive against the names. Like, it tanks better than me most of the time. If I was using an earth pet, it would probably never die. But I use it quite a bit for pulling mostly. Speed of Mar, or Speed of the Savior. So this just increases our run speed by 115% for 30 seconds. Now, I run a druid and I run a shaman, so I get communion to the cheetah here pretty much all the time. But sometimes, like if I'm pulling in the worm cave, it'll wear off while I'm running back, and it takes forever to run back. So I just click that and boom, I'm back. I'm running back the same speed. It doesn't last very long, but it's good. Mars Salvation. So this reduces the amount of hatred generated from your attacks. Now, I block it on myself, but I allow it to go on everybody else. So I cast it. Everybody gets it. I block it. So everybody else will generate 15% less hatred, and I will continue generating normal hatred. Just, you know, it's just one of my many little buffs I have here, right? I do Preservation, Confluent Blessing, Stonewall Stance, and then Divine Protector's Unity. Divine Protector's Unity being all the group, all our self buffs, like all in one spell. Mine's not updated to the 1.15 version yet. I need to get some AA, but it does pretty much all our stuff. At 1.15, it'll start, you know, do these other better ones and stuff like that. Now, I talked about blocked buffs, right? I talked about the Ranger buff and the Beast Lord buff, right? Now, I don't have it blocked, but the Druid skin, this one right here, Lucknight Blessing, or any of the ones like it, right? These do not stack. Now, I haven't mathed out, but this is like 102 mana regen. This is 94 mana regen. And I think I actually have rank 2, so it might be better. Let me check real quick. Shielding, yeah, I have rank 2, so I think it's slightly better than this one. Yeah, this one's 99. So this one is like, it's 99 mana regen. This one is 102. They don't stack, but I feel like I get more hit points. I haven't like figured it out. I haven't done any analysis on it yet at all. I feel like I have more hit points and more armor class taking persistence, which is the level 120 cleric buff, because this is like agilism. So you get the armor class, the hit point, and the symbol all in one buff slot. And then I get Armor of the Steadfast, which gives me another 3,400 hit points. Numbers are different. Oh yeah, duh. Because that's the old version. Because my yeah. All right. Yeah. Where does that? Armor Steadfast. Yeah, that's Steadfast Grace. That's the old one. My Unity doesn't give me the new buff yet. So I get the 99, I get the 5,000 hit points, and I get the 1,000 armor. Jeez. What am I wearing right now? Sword and shield. So I get more armor class out of this. I get more mana regen out of it. It stacks with focus too, like vampire focusing right here. So they all seem to stack, and it gives me, you know, everything. So I don't know. I don't know why. Like, I feel like I should be able to get armor of the Steadfast plus the Druid buff plus symbol plus AC if I wanted to waste, you know, the extra slots. But you know, I have a 120 cleric in, you know, guild lobby, so I always make sure I have that buff, right? So just, you know, just interesting stacking I noticed. I don't know what the best setup is yet. I'm not going to waste my time figuring it out until 120, but, or I guess 125 at this point. But at this, you know, at this juncture, like, I just go with the cleric buff. So, yeah, and then when this is the right rank, it'll actually cast my level 115 version of all these spells in the highest rank of them. This just because I haven't spent any time AAing today. let's see here. That's all of those. This is some mercenary controls. I actually have a mercenary healer out right now since I'm not using Tawani. So I bring out the healer. The next video I'm going to do is the Kale mercenary, and I'm going to want double healer. So just they hit hard. Perfected invisibility undead. I use this like near non-stop in experience zones, especially in Torment of Elias and probably in Claws of Vishan. Everything's undead, and being able to do undead invisibility to them as I run around the zone, it saves my life because everything would just aggro and it'd be just take me forever to kill everything. Then I have some macros for inviting my characters. I have yeah, those, and then macro to set myself as assist and tank. I started working on a ready macro. Like, I was trying to figure out how I could, whatever I'm targeting, get them all to say ready to it. But it's the second I zone in, it breaks the extended target. So I'm still working on it. Then I have the same concept right here with AOC, but it just targets AOC. Goes in. I wanted to do one that did my target, and then expedient recovery, so if I die I can get 100% res on all my corpses. But I don't think I've ever used it, even though the timer says that I have. All right, so that is all my skills, all my bars, all my stuff there. I guess it's worth mentioning these right here. Holy Forge is just stupidly strong. This is insane. Like, the amount of damage I can put out with Holy Forge running, and it lasts 5 minutes. I pair this with my lesson of the day, and for 5 minutes I am a berserker. It is insane how much undead damage I can do with this. It's pretty good. There's another one called Pure Forge, which does the same thing to live mobs, but it's only 2 minutes. So, and it's a 20-minute reuse. Holy Forge is a hour reuse for 5 minutes. So, yeah, I use it. That's what I use it for. Sincere Penitence. I don't even know what that one is. I don't even do anything with these mostly, except the burns. So Sincere Penitence. Oh yeah, Sincere Penitence is the kind of it pairs with Armor of Sincerity. I picked this one. Sincere Penitence as I picked the armor one. I can't remember what it was. It was different, but this is the one I picked. I can't remember exactly. What's this one say? Yeah, this one adds more hatred. I think that's what I wanted. And this one, heals for more. And it'll heal other people. So it just depends on what you're looking for there. This would probably be better in a raid situation where it's healing other people, where I don't really care about healing anybody else. And then Sanctification, that is just, I think a nuke absorber. Sort by name. Sanctification, yeah, just gets rid of nukes. Unending Affirmation, if I can say the words right. I think it's up here. This is, yeah, Unyielding. Yeah, I guess it got replaced at 109. No, Unending, right here. It's right here. This just generate more aggro. I don't really use it very often. I would put it in my spam button, but it uses a bunch of. Well, actually, let's do it. Let's just throw it in there. Why not? I like to live. I like to just do whatever, right? It's 600 stamina every 10 minutes. That's not that bad. for 18 seconds of 55% more aggro and to heal. So there we go. That's being used now. All right, so that's all my skills and all my spells. Let's talk about gear. No, actually, well, we talked about AAs already. We'll talk about where I want to go with AAs next. We'll talk about gear now. So you're 115. You have options, right? This is snowbound armor right here, and this is Valium infused right here. So snowbound is the tier 1 gear you can wear from starting at 110 and goes all the way up to 115. I don't have any tier 2 armor yet for a Paladin. It's in between, if you will. I think my druid here is wearing... Yeah, my druid is wearing the Blizzard Lifewalker tunic. I believe 8300. Yeah, this is from like Velks and stuff like that, right? This is that, so it's 8300 HP. Tier 3 is 8600 and tier 1 is 7000. Your choices, you know, are between those. I personally was able to do everything in Snowbound. I was able to kill Gricklor in Snowbound, and using, you know, I've killed the Gricklor in Snowbound using conflagrant weapons. I've killed him with raid weapons. I've killed him with a raid two-hander. The closer to 115 you are when you do kill Gricklor, makes it easier for sure. I could probably even do it with the Worm Slayer, but that's, you know, that I've done it with those. And so getting the Snowbound comes from group named mobs, right? So tier 1, Great Divide, Crystal Caverns, Eastern Ways. And the Valium Infused is crafted using, you know, trade skills, right? And then you need an ore from a named. Each of the names, tier 1 and tier 2, and the missions drop ore. I've gotten 2 ore for every Gricklor I've done. And you just put the ore plus a vendor item that's 26,000 platinum into a container, click combine, and you get the item. And I'm currently wearing full visible Valium infused, which seems to have increased my hit points, you know, 7,000 to 8,300-ish, well, whatever these are, right? Each one's different. 8,600, so about 1,600 hit points per. Like, where's the breastplate? I'll use the breastplate as the best example. Like 700 hit points, I guess. I guess there's I have Augs in here, so kind of throws that number off a little bit. So I have like a blood-soaked spellstone, 130 H points. So just depends. Plus I have I do have a Valium Protector source, which gives me more stats and does more stats to all the different stuff based on purity. Power sources are great. And then my other slots are as conflagrant. You would want to upgrade this to whatever. I do have an ice encrusted cloak that I got from a worm, but it is that. And I've gotten a few infused items for jewelry. I went with Augs, actually. I focused on the Augs. Like, here's one Aug. Because I have a very low amount of Augs right now, right? So these crafted Augs were kind of like where I kind of focused my ore on after the armor. I mean, 60 AC, 700 hit points. You know, it's a really good Aug, right? I also, let's see here, I have the conflagrant type 5s. I also made type 5. I don't know where I put one. How one's thou at? There we go. I made all the type 5s, I believe. This one was just the stamina one. I'm not the stamina one, the strength one. So I just made them all, trying to fill my slots, right? Because we've been severely undergeared this whole time. I don't see. Here's the. That's intelligence. I have another one somewhere. I have no idea where I put it. There's so many gear slots, right? It's so painful to manage all this too. Intensity. Yeah. It is what it is. But the best gear you can get is the Velium. I think it's Velium thread. I have some on my mage. So this is the Velium threaded COV tier 3 crafted stuff. This is 9,200 hit points. And you know, way more. So that's, you know, that's the mage robe, right? So it's gonna be different for a paladin, but the same concept is, you know, you want each expansion has the tier 1 zones, the tier 2 zones, and then the crafted. So I call crafted tier 3 because it's better than everything else, except for Conflagrant, because Conflagrant was the middle ground. Well, from Ring of Scale on, they follow the same pattern. So I consider tier 3 to be the group trade skill armor, and tier 1 to be the tradable stuff from the first mobs, right? So like Snowbound is tier 1. So the best you can get at 115 is to, you know, the tier 3 crafted stuff, and I'm not giving myself any of that until I can kill Zlandikar, and then I'll be farming ores to craft myself a full set of that to get ready for Terra of Lucklin and whatnot. So there's a lot of armor progression going on there. Now, if you're like me and you're on Verant of Vi, you have the option of picking up raid weapons. As you can see here, I have so here's like the at my level, the last 3 tiers of raid weapons. So Wallace is letting me borrow his great hammer here. I crafted the claymore and the greatsword myself, but you can kind of see how like insane these are, right? Like 23 ratio, 800 damage. Like, wait till we see some stuff like that. So I'm messing around with them. Like, I've done all the progression with and without them. Like it doesn't add too much to it. It doesn't really increase my DPS to something crazy. I still do less DPS than a 113 mage. So it's just interesting to see. And then if we look here, so this is the COV raid hammer. This is the TOV group tier 3 weapon, and where is it here? This one. Oh, that's not that. Where is? Oh, it's on my hand. This is the Burning Lands raid weapon. So you can kind of see that the Burning Lands raid weapon is better than the TOV group weapon, right? Note that all the raid stuff has endurance regeneration on it. Now you can see here the COV, the COV raid one-hander has a better ratio than the. Do I have it on me? I think it's this one, right? Yeah, it has the same ratio as the two-hander from TBL. So almost as much armor class and hit points too. So the raid weapons are significantly stronger. Now, if you're a DPS class, definitely you want to get raid weapons. You might be able to get away with not having them. I'm testing them out. I plan on doing a series with a Shadow Knight and using raid weapons the whole way, just to see the difference. But right now I'm messing around. And if you want to look at the difference between Conflagrant and this, I mean, it's 18 ratio versus an 8 ratio. I mean, it's insane. And the rune does 10,000 versus 6,000. So the raid stuff is so much better than the group stuff. It's insane. And if you read on the forums and stuff and you hear people saying, I can tank 10 mobs, they're wearing all raid gear. They're not wearing group gear. I'll tell you that right now. Anybody says they're I don't believe them. I don't believe anybody wearing group gear tanking more than 2 mobs, maybe 3. Like, it's just not possible. I just don't see how. But that's kind of the gear and where I'm heading, where I should head, and where you should head, right? Gear wise, AA wise. So AAs are. I'm currently gaining AAs. I'm 150. I got 115. Now I'm focused 100% on AAs. So where am I gonna go? Right now I'm spending my points on combat agility, combat stability, general sturdiness, and natural durability. Once I max those out, I'm gonna grab. I don't think I need Knight's Energy yet. No, I need. Where is it? I want Unity just so it saves me the cast time and all the other stuff. But this one here, Blessing of Life, is pretty nice. Every time I attack, I get a 13% chance that I get 4,000 health. Pretty nice. Ideally, we want to get everything, right? Everything that's defensive first is my strategy. I go defensive, and then I start going for these offensive ones that are, you know, a little less, you know, oh, neat, right? So looks like we get a new Slay Undead rank, 6% chance to deal 3,600 extra damage. Jesus Christ, that's gonna be. I think I've gotten 2 million on a 2-hander so far, so I think we'll get higher soon. Weapon mastery, you're gonna want that. You know, everything defensive, which is these general ones first, I think. I don't think there's anything else in these archetypes that are like true defensive things. There's things that are like defensive, right? But they're not true defensive abilities. I'm just doing a quick look, right? You want to upgrade your whatever nuke you do, whatever stun you picked. Make sure you update that. Gift of Life, I mean, that's just a, you know, heal. Blessing of the Faithful. Yeah, I would say do that. And then you're gonna want to also look at your focuses, right? So can we upgrade this one not to 119, right? So you kind of look at these. Synergy's the number one you want to upgrade. So at 118, I have to farm up 200 AA. That's immediately. So Demand for Honor at 115, there's a new rank of that. So I'm going to have to get that one. So that's 105 AA. And then all the ones of these that I actually use, I go for, right? So I don't, like, I use Concentration, which is the Requiem. I am not using it right now, so I probably won't get it, but right here, I'm using Crush of Restless Ice, so I need to grab that to get the 12% for that. Previously, it wasn't on there, and I wasn't using Crush of Asai, so Crush of the Darkened Sea. I'm using Crush of the Grotto, so I'm going to want to pick that one up. I already picked up one rank, so I need the next rank. Extended Preservation of Mar, we're going to want this one. So this just adds more charges to it. I've never actually ran out of charges. I just wish it would last longer. So I don't have to cast it as much. And then whatever else you use in the focuses, you know, grab those. Thwart, you know, you're going to want that. And I don't think any of these other ones I'm going to be using anytime soon. So just make sure you have those. Make sure you don't let your mercenary A points get to 55, or you'll lose them all. I just buy random stuff at this point since I'm not really using the mercenary as much as I was before, right? There we go. Just clear those out because they gain so fast. But once you get the defensive ones, focus on the offensive. That's the way I play it, so might be useful to you. But that's gear, AAs, spell, hotbars, philosophy of how I play the Paladin. I mean, it's an hour and 30 minutes. I doubt anybody's gonna watch this, but there you go. I think that's everything. You know, I always do the Blessed Aura whenever I have it, whenever I need it, just to make sure I have that going. But there's any questions or comments, please let me know. If I said something that's just completely dumb and wrong, let me know. And I would like to learn what I'm doing wrong. So thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.